Hello everyone, welcome back to RCH Builders. So of course the last thing we did in the last video was go ahead and fix this whole sink drain setup right here. And we knocked out a couple other little things, but the biggest thing was the mud on the walls. This is all dry, nice and smooth level, which is nice, so ready for paint. The next thing that I'm going to be working on today, first thing anyways, because it's what is taking us the longest on this project, the main meat of this project, I guess, is the mudding of the walls. So first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and sand out my pan and knife. I have learned through years of doing this that you can wash out a pan with water and try and dry it and use turn it on its side where it'll run the water out of it and dry on its own, air dry. My experience, what I've found, and I noticed it after working on a job where we had a guy who's been mudding for many years. What he does is he lets it dry and then he sands it out instead of washing it. The reason is I mean, I have done where I wash it, and no matter what, within like 6 months to a year, the pan looks like it is really old. It's like you can't really get all of the water out of the corners, and it ends up being rusty. That rust starts going across through the pan and everything. Instead, I have learned, yes, the sanding is way much better. This pan looks brand new, still has the sticker on it as if it's brand new, but this pan is probably, I believe, 5-6 years old at least, if not even older. So it's just, like I say, yeah, I've found the sanding option is a lot better. So anyways, I'm gonna sand the pan out, sand all these small spots on the wall, so that I can see if I need to add more mud to them or not, because a lot of them will probably be good with just that one little bit of mud. And then I'll be moving to all the areas where we did the tape and doing a second bed coat on those. And that, the second coat, which is called the bed coat. So anyways, that's what I'm going to be working on starting with, is sanding, mudding. And then when we're done with that, we'll see how much time we have left as far as what of the other projects we're going to move on to for today. All right, that's the mudding done for today. On these corners, of course, we'll do this other side later after this one's dry. I've explained that in a previous video. It's just if you try and do this one, you're gonna mess this one up. But this over here, we'll probably need a little bit more mud because it has definitely been built out a lot to try and go between the different sheetrocks that are mounted there that are not even with each other. But for the most part, all of the small little patches were good. There was only a few here and there that I had to hit. So now we'll get ready to move on to the next thing. All right, so I guess what I'm going to work on next is I'm going to go ahead and get this cut out where I can actually work on repairing this. I'm going to see if I can repair this from underneath without cutting the floor up. And if so, I won't have to remove the toilet and all that stuff. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to measure up underneath, find where the stud joist is, mark it on both ends of this, then use that for a straight line. We'll do the same thing over here, measuring that way till I hit the stud. I'm going to measure it and then add 3/4 of an inch so that I'm in the middle of that joist. And I'm going to use that to make a mark. Go ahead and measure off the wall back this way to square this end up right here. And then do same thing up there. I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to go. I might go just before that vent. I think that's what I'm going to do, probably. And then remove that section, and I'll be able to use that access to go underneath and look over here. So I'm going to do real quick. I'm going to mark that out, cut it with the skill saw, and then pull up the boards. All right, so I went ahead and cut that out, and while I was halfway down there, I went ahead and looked over here to see if what I assumed was correct with the toilet, which I am, but it's actually even more than I thought it was. As far as, so remember I told you, obviously you can see they cut that out for the vent, and it's broken off. It stops probably, and it's at an angle anyway, but it stops probably about 3 inches before where I did that cut right there. So I'm going to have to remedy all that, of course. But over here, they, again, which I was figuring they kind of did the same thing, but they did it, I thought they probably did it like for the shower. They did it in multiple places. They cut it on this side of the toilet, that side of the toilet, and then this side of the shower drain and that side of the shower drain. So I'm going to need to bring a bunch more hangers. I'm going to need to ledger from this that way. 1, 2, 3, and 4 times, and then use a hanger to tie each of the pieces into it. So, bunch of work. What I did like from what I seen was the fact that this was actually, the wood is actually really dry, except for right by the shower, which is kind of to be expected for it to get a little damp there. And it actually was not bad. It wasn't all the way through. It was just kind of just slightly on the top layer. So that is good. What was thought was water damage is actually just the fact it's not supported. It's this whole joist sagging under all the weight, which is good. However, if you remember, I said there was water down in there. I am going to have to go down there with a flashlight and look more carefully. I can hear a constant water drip, which I'm not that surprised. We've already seen under the kitchen sink, there was a big, there's a spot where it is leaking underneath the house. Over when we tried to crawl in from that side, we saw a leak there. I would not be surprised if the leak in relation, because of all those others, is like right here where the toilet water line is supposed to come up through. It could be there, but you see there's plenty of other water lines, so it could be coming from the shower, it could be coming from the sink. So that's where, like I said, I'm just going to have to take a flashlight down there and look. The other good thing for having this hole open is I will be able to use this hole to go that direction to remedy the issue that we have with the closet light. If you remember where they ran that. And I guess the main reason that they ran it outside is because of the fact that when we crawled underneath, we saw we can't really get under here. But now we have a big hole access to be able to go under there and do that. The other issue that I'm thinking is we probably won't be able to get up into the attic above this. I don't think there's much, so we might have to do some interesting little patches in the ceiling and wall in the closet up high. So we'll just see about that. But that at least lets me know what I'm going to need to be able to move forward with this. I've got plenty of lumber to do it. What I don't have is enough of the hangers to be able to do it. I'm going to need to I got 6, which would take care of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to need to get 3, 6. I'm going to have to get 9 more because of the way that they cut this one over here up really bad. But at least we got it ready all down through there. We know exactly what we'll need. Hope you've enjoyed watching. I'll see you the next time.